Hey folks, this is my single seed challenge. Take a look at this. This is a Black Beauty tomato that I started from a single seed. You may have remembered that seed if you watched my very first single seed challenge video. I'll link it up there. And that was a beautiful little seed. We grew it into a little seedling under the lights and we up potted it, and I finally put it out here, and it is about to put on fruit. It's got a nice dense limb system here. I'm not pruning it except for keeping the bottom clean. I'm going to let it go ahead and sprawl out. Even as an indeterminate, I'm going to let it fill this cage, and then I'll top it off about right up at the top here. But this is my single seed challenge. When growing tomatoes, what you want to make sure of is that you keep airflow going through the plant. These indeterminates just keep on growing and they'll really choke themselves out. They'll really fill up the space. So I like to come in here on the bottom and trim off all the leaves that are you know, kind of choking out the interior. And you want to also make sure that most of your leaves are able to get good sunlight most of the day. So some of this density up here, if you're not going to prune your suckers and you're going to let your plant sprawl, you probably need to come in more often and trim off just foliage. The foliar branches are going to shade out much of your plant. Like I said, I'm going to let this sprawl, but if it gets too dense, I will pull some suckers. There's a little guy right there I'm going to trim off right now. And on my single seed plant, I've been very careful to investigate under the leaves and all the leaves, make sure I'm not seeing any pests get in here. I've been watching some of you guys grow your single seed challenge, and I've not been able to keep up and go comment on your videos, but I sure have been enjoying trying to. So yeah, keep it up. I've seen a lot of folks have had to start over once, twice, 3 times. That's okay. That's kind of the challenge, you know. It's hard to grow a single seed. Normally we just broadcast a bunch of seed, or we sow 50 seeds, and we're almost guaranteed to get some plants. But with a single seed challenge, that's part of it, is you're nurturing one seed from its germination all the way to the end of its life cycle. I don't think you can see it, but there's a little lizard looking at me right here. We've got a bumper crop of lizards this year. All of the other tomato plants are looking really good. The pygmies and micros and dwarfs are putting on fruit. Tons and tons of blossoms on those. That's real exciting. Over here are some more small scale tomatoes and a couple of normal sized ones. I don't even remember what they all are. I bury the tags beneath the mulch level so that the names don't fade. But yeah, look at that. Look how dense and dark green those are. I love these determinants, these bush types like this guy right here, and how they're just so dense and green. Here's an example of what happens when your leaves are shaded out by other leaves, and they're down here in this area that where they touch the ground. They can start to get yellow and get blighted, and so you just want to come in and trim that whole limb off. I would also take these guys off down here because you can see this guy's laying on the ground. And even though this is a determinate, you want to keep the plant opened up. It needs to be pruned up. I'm going to show in a video how to do that. This is probably a little too far gone. I should not have let it get that far sprawling and all those suckers, but we can clean that up, and the tomato is very resilient and will grow back just fine. Same thing over here. I haven't done anything to this brandywine except to trim off some lower leaves, and it's already bushed out some, and it's got more leaves down there that need to come out. You don't want a tomato plant to lay its leaves on the ground. That one's been trimmed up a little bit, but again, most of these are bushing out, and I think that's how I'm going to grow them this year. Again, all these tomatoes are doing great out here. I just need to come in and lift the leaves off the ground and show you how to prune. Well, that's coming up, new video. It's rainy today, I'm not going to do it today. If you're not familiar with the single seed challenge, it's just a fun little thing that I came up with in response to a viewer asking, hey, I would like to see a single seed grown from the seed all the way through the end. And I thought, well, that'd be a great way to get a lot of people doing this, so we could all enjoy watching and tending a single little life from germination all the way to the end of its life cycle. And the purpose of this, a lot of you guys have explained it actually better than I have in my first video, which I'll link. The purpose in the single seed challenge isn't to like win. It's simply to have the experience of watching one life, one little single life, and actually seeing that seed right there, that little seed that I'm planting, and watching that seed grow through its entire life cycle and tending it very carefully. One seed of hopefully a variety that you're not growing elsewhere. But it's just because normally when we garden, we sow, you know, a whole bunch of seeds and we treat our crop as a group, as a crop, right? And the individual isn't so important in the crop. You know, you got weaklings, you throw them out. You got thinnings, you compost them. And you don't really focus on one single plant. But I think there's a beauty, there's a sublime kind of beauty in watching a plant grow and seeing the magnificent life that comes from a tiny little seed, and to be able to document that and then later go look back and say, well, see, that little seed in that picture right there gave me this gigantic plant and this wonderful fruit or these flowers or whatever it is you want to grow. So that's the single seed challenge. Use the hashtag single seed challenge 2020 because we'll probably do it again next year. And yeah, the single seed challenge. It's not too late. And if your seed doesn't come up, start over. Do it again. If your seed doesn't come up a second time or a third time, keep going until you get one. And yeah, failure is part of gardening. It's part of life, you know. Some seeds don't grow. But yeah, go and do the single seed challenge. It's really fun. It's especially good for getting people who aren't into gardening interested in gardening, because, you know, you're taking an interest in a single plant. So, hey, thanks for all of y'all who have kind of taken this and run with it. It's you know, though I kind of started the thing, I started the video or the challenge, but it's out of my hands, man. It's like wildfire, and I'm so pleased to see how many people are enjoying this idea. So, yeah, go take care of your single seed today. Enjoy it, look at it, and be thankful for it. There's the garden. There's the single seed challenge update. A little bit about tomatoes and what's coming in the future. We're going to be trimming tomatoes to show you how to do that. We're going to be putting in a net trellis for our Armenian cucumbers. I'll show you how to do that. And we're going to do some just generic work around the garden and spend some time enjoying the peacefulness of the garden. So that's what's coming up. Thanks for joining us on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Please subscribe if you haven't. We've really appreciated all the growth this spring. Thank you for all your comments. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll talk to you next time. Happy gardening.